Peace, folks.
Hey, hey.
So we're gonna wait for things to load up, and we'll tell you about what's going on. But in the meantime, hope all is well with you and yours. All right. Nah, not necessary. But yeah, peace everybody. So
Peace.
We don't always go live on IG for our business, but we have a lot going on. So tonight we'll give you all an update on our upcoming Kwanzaa celebration. We will be joined shortly by Malachi from Creative Suitland, our partners over there, and yeah, we're excited for Kwanzaa 2020. Yeah. You know what I mean? In spite of all of the craziness going on in the world, you know.
So, hey everyone, thank you guys for joining. We just wanted to give everybody a brief just description and summary of what to expect this year. Those of you that attended last year, thank you so much for staying with us. We are so excited that we'll still be able to do a presentation, and it's pretty jam-packed. It's going to be on the first day of Kwanzaa, which is Saturday, December 26th at 5 p.m. via live stream on YouTube. Some of the things that you can expect to see, of course, those who are new to Kwanzaa, we'll give a brief introduction and speak about Dr. Malana Karenga, who is the founder of Kwanzaa. Kwanzaa is a holiday, non-religious holiday that celebrates, culture, community, and its people. And so we are very fortunate that we'll be able to continue this tradition via virtually. Some of the things that you'll see, like I mentioned before, we have great hosts, and Stan Substantial Robinson will be one of our hosts, along with Brother Victorious, who is a Prince George's County staple, and also owner and entrepreneur of Spizzy, which is located in Camp Springs. So those of you who have not
you ain't gone to Spizzy.
If you haven't gone to Spizzy, you
reevaluate your life.
Especially if you local. If you local, you ain't got no excuse.
You got to check out Spizzy.
But yeah, so they'll be our hosts for the evening, as well as provide some background with an introduction to what Kwanzaa is and how do we celebrate it. That will then be followed by a restorative justice presentation by our dear friend of ours, Randy Green, who is a educator as well as a facilitator on restorative justice practices. That will be then followed by a seated yoga demonstration by Lisa Renee Yoga. One of the things I'm really looking forward to with that is that no matter where you are on the evening of the 26th, whether you're seated, whether you're standing, whether you're different abilities, seated yoga will be just a great way for you to get centered, as well as to learn some takeaways from different poses that you can do at your leisure. So we're very much looking forward to that. We also have vocalist and musician Tamara Wellens, who will bless the mic and be performing for us. She is a profound vocalist, singer, songwriter, producer. She does R&B, she does jazz, she does house music. So that's going to be a sure treat. Yeah. Is there something else you wanted to add?
Yeah, I just wanted to also just remind folks, like a lot of the events, it is a virtual event. So the dope thing is we understand that most of our supporters are in the DMV area, and a lot of folks have physically attended the event last year. But the dope thing about it being online is now that it can be a global experience. Like people literally, no matter where you are in the country or abroad, right, you can basically participate and celebrate Kwanzaa with us by checking out the event.
Last year was our first time where we partnered with Creative Suitland. We've been practicing Kwanzaa. Oh God!
For a long time.
I want to say just under 20 years, if not 20 years.
Close to it.
And so we usually just practice at home, or we'll go someplace. When we lived in New York, shout out to Boys and Girls High School.
Yes.
Was our very first, at least for me, first opportunity of learning and being witness to Kwanzaa. And so the elders there gave a profound presentation where it included vendors and speakers and presentations, and it was just all all-encompassing event.
Yeah.
And so we definitely wanted to emulate that for the PG community.
Right.
There's several, folks that have been doing Kwanzaa in the past, and so we just wanted to be a part of that and be able to provide it to the community who, whether you practice it for the first year or your 100th time doing it. So we want to, that's probably not possible, but still, you get what I'm saying.
Right.
So joining us shortly will be Malachi, who is the executive director with Creative Suitland. So we were just giving some background on the event. Last year, Creative Suitland had not officially opened its doors, but they opened their doors to us to have this event. We had 2 days out of the 7. Kwanzaa is celebrated over 7 days between the December 26th through January 1st. And so we did 2 of the 7 days. We had well over 300 people in attendance, multi-generational, multi-ethnic. We had vendors, we had activities, we had presenters. So it was a really, really great opportunity. And so we definitely were looking forward to doing it again this year. Granted, due to the pandemic, we wanted to make sure that we were being safe keeping the public safe, but still wanted to provide the same amount of programming, just virtually. So Malachi, welcome. Thank you for joining us. Yay.
Let me turn you up a little bit so we can hear you. Hold on 1 second.
Make sure my volume's up.
Yeah, that's a little better. Yeah, how you doing?
Doing well. It's a Monday. I'll tell you that.
Right.
right.
Gotta love it.
Here and connect with you all, and hopefully connect with anyone else out there who I'm pretty sure there's people who have no idea what Kwanzaa is. Other people might been familiar with the term, but not exactly know the meaning behind it, or why it is that we're celebrating it, and what's the purpose of it, and why do we feel like it's even more essential for us to come together virtually, in this weird pandemic state that we're in, and just to be able to still celebrate something, have that sense of community and all that that goes along with the principles of Kwanzaa. So I guess the question for you all and for the listeners that are, well, not listeners, but the watchers, the Instagram watchers, if you can just give a brief synopsis of what Kwanzaa is, and what is Kwanzaa?
Sure. So Kwanzaa came about in the 60s by Dr. Karenga, and it's an African American holiday, which basically we practice the 7 principles of Kwanzaa. And so every day of Kwanzaa, the 7 days of Kwanzaa, each principle helps to kind of refocus our community, so to speak. So in that first day, which is Umoja, when our program will be happening, that first day is unity. Because, before we can start to do anything as a community, we first have to come together. So usually that first day of Kwanzaa, families will gather or communities will gather just to kind of discuss that particular principle and the various principles of Kwanzaa and different things they could be doing to lift themselves up and lift their community up. And so, as I mentioned before, there are 7 days. So you also have Kujijakalia, which is self-determination. You have Ujima, you have Ujamaa, you have Nia, Kuumba, and Imani. And so all of these different principles. An important thing to know about Kwanzaa isn't a religious holiday. So it's a cultural holiday, which means that you don't necessarily have to not celebrate Christmas in order to celebrate Kwanzaa. And then shout out to some of our Jewish brothers and sisters who are also Black. So you could celebrate Hanukkah and also celebrate Kwanzaa. It's about celebrating our African heritage, and making sure that we practice these principles, not just during the 7 days, but think of it as a way where we're closing out our year. And then as the final day is on the new year. And so then on that first day, it's basically we're taking that energy into the new year and making sure that we live those principles every single day. Kwanzaa 365,
That's beautiful. I've I haven't really celebrated anything, honestly. These past few years,
Mm.
I've kind of fell out of the holiday spirit, but now that I have a growing family and something, I guess, to look forward to, I'm excited to, for the first time, officially celebrate Kwanzaa on December
Nice.
26th.
Yay.
Year
Dope,
every,
man.
but we're excited to do something a little bit different this year because we did Christmas last year, at least the tradition of, I've always appreciated just being around family. That's been the most important thing for me. But I've kind of valued that over the whole gift giving. And I think
Sure.
that's my takeaway from it is just being around family, appreciating family, being thankful and having gratitude. But haven't been able to research and learn about Kwanzaa over these past few years, it definitely makes me more excited this year to kind of, just like what Stan said, put those principles to use to start off that first year because 2020 has been a crazy year, as we all know.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
I think
Yes, it has.
you can find the value, especially that first day is just coming together, which I'm excited that this event is on the first day of Kwanzaa, December 26th. So, with all that being said, I guess we can jump into the actual event, which will be
Mhm.
held here, December 26th,
Yep.
2020.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
I guess if you want to go through who's all part of this
I'm part of
virtual
it.
event, if you want to
Yeah.
just run down, I guess corresponding to the principles and how we, how did this event come together?
Yeah. Well, first of all, thank you for, for celebrating it the first time with us. So we're so appreciative that we're honored. We're so excited. We've been planning this in conjunction with Creative Suitland since August because we know with the pandemic, as things were developing, we were just like, okay, how are we going to do this? Are we going to do partial live stream and some, with actual people? And then we finally decided that we are going to, majority of the program will be pre-recorded. We will have, again, our host, Stan Substantial Robinson, along with Brother Victorious, who will be hosting live. The beauty in having this live stream through YouTube is that those who log in, you can utilize the chat feature. And so in real time, if you have a question or if you want to give a shout out or praise or want to learn a little bit more, we'll be chatting with the audience in real time. So that I'm actually looking forward to because, as a lot of us know, when you do attend live events, you don't get to initially be that personal with the host or with the presenters. So that piece I'm actually looking forward to. What will be included, again, this is open. It's a multi-generational program. We are starting off with introduction to Kwanzaa, again, by our hosts, Substantial and Brother Vic. Again, for those who are just joining us, Brother Victorious is a staple in the Prince George's County community, born and bred, and has a new restaurant that just opened up during pandemic called Spizzy. So again, if you guys have not, if you're not privy to the smoothies and the beverages and the waffles, the vegan waffles, you're missing out.
Yes,
So yeah, so they will start us off with an introduction to Kwanzaa, and then that will be followed by a restorative justice presentation led by our dear friend Randy Green, who is an educator for Prince George's County. We also have yoga. So those of you, if you're seated on your couch, if you are standing, if you're of different abilities, Lisa Renee, who's a great, great friend of ours, who actually facilitated a class last year as well, will be leading us in a yoga presentation, which we're also looking forward to, because after restorative justice and going through that practice, to be able to come back and to be centered and to breathe, because I think for a lot of us, whether you're not working or you are just stressed out, you're working in the medical field, or you've lost a loved one, really focusing on breath and movement, I think it's very important. So we wanted to make sure we brought her back again this year. We also have a phenomenal vocalist who's also a PG artist, Tamara Wellens, who is a singer-songwriter, producer. She sings jazz, R&B, as well as house music. So she'll be joining us and blessing the stage, if you will. We also have storytelling. So for the little ones, we have two great educators, Gigi Gumspoon. And we also have Mama Serwa with Sankofa Educators, who will be leading us in a story for the little ones as well as for the big kids as well, that I think everybody can enjoy. We also have, who am I missing? Oh, and of course, how can I forget? So we can't close out without having West African Drum and Dance, which is
Yep.
provided by Ni Dembaya Drum and Dance Ensemble. Those of you who are not familiar, get familiar. They are also a staple, not only in the PG area, but also in DC. And also our new resident partner artists and our facilitating classes at Creative Suitland. So they will be in attendance as well. And so we're so looking forward to it. Another piece that we wanted to make sure that we added was last year we had vendors. Those of you who are from the area know that, pretty much you could find a vendor all year long. And so they have been incredibly impacted by the pandemic because unless they are outside, they are not able to do what they do. And so I wanted to provide an outlet for them as well. So we will be incorporating Black-owned businesses who are our vendors, who will basically do video promos. So it'll be like our commercial breaks in between our segments. So I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah, and that ties into one of the principles of Kwanzaa as well, which is Ujamaa, which is cooperative economics. So definitely, like even though this is on the first day of Kwanzaa, which is unity, the different activities that we're having throughout, like, represent all of the different principles. Like our artists / performers, they represent creativity, which is Kuumba, and we're just, it's going to be a really great program. I think it's one of those things that if you've never experienced Kwanzaa before, it's a great way to kind of get a taste of what it's like for the first time. And one of the amazing things that I love about Kwanzaa is it's not this rigid thing that there's no wiggle room when it comes to the principles and what they are. But in terms of how you choose to practice those principles and how you choose to celebrate Kwanzaa with your family, it's really one of those things that, like, it's so young, right? Kwanzaa is still very much a young thing. So we're adding on to this, and it's really, really dope, especially for the young people as well. One of the powerful moments we had as a family last year, besides putting on the program, as much work went into, having the Kwanzaa celebration last year at Creative Suitland. When we got home, our oldest daughter, who's grown up with Kwanzaa, she was actually, like, confused. She was like, wait, hold up, we're leaving the Kanara there? Like, we're like, what are we doing at home? Because all of this is great and all, but we're so used to whether we're around a bunch of people or if it's just, our family, like, doing something. So it was like the first time, I think, in her whole life where we didn't really come home and do something still, because all of our Kwanzaa stuff was basically at Creative Suitland. But it just shows you how powerful it is when you introduce it to your kids and create a certain expectation, and you give them this information and these principles that they can live by, be proud of, and it's just a great experience as well. It's truly one of a kind. It's not like any other celebration that I've been to,
Yeah, I was gonna say, outside of that, what was like one of your most memorable moments from last year's Kwanzaa, or the highlight?
There's so many.
Yeah.
I mean, just walking through, to be honest, because, it's a great space. For those of you who haven't attended or been to Creative Suitland, from having a facility that's, metro accessible, has plenty of parking, they have different rooms. So we had in the grand room, we had the audience, and that was where the main presentation was. But then we had breakout rooms for vendors. We also had a dance room that's where yoga was being held. We also had dance presentations, so folks it was very, very much collaborative, as well as, we encourage participants. So if you wanted to do yoga, you could participate in yoga, and it was all for free.
Yeah, and we had crafts as well.
We had arts and crafts.
That was, one of the most memorable moments from last year, and just every Kwanzaa celebration I've ever been to, is when we have, there's dialogue that happens too. It's not just this, we present information to you without taking in whatever information you have for us. And so that's what's going to be a little bit different about this year, obviously. But when we do that, oftentimes the floor is opened up to not just the elders in the room, not just the people a bit closer to our age, but even the young people get a chance to kind of share their feelings on different things. Like when we talk about what unity means to everyone, what it looks like to the different people in the room. And being able to give young people the floor and give them a chance to speak and not feel like they have to be silent while the adults are speaking, because all of us have a stake in our communities moving forward. So we should be listening to everyone. And so Kwanzaa, like the entire time I've celebrated it, that's one of the most beautiful parts about it. It's not something that kids just show up and sit at their little table and not participate in, or not or not have a meaningful, not participate in a meaningful way. It's something they're very much involved in. And so that was definitely a standout moment as well from last year. I also thought of on the second Kwanzaa event that we had during last season. It was the first time my mom actually came, because even though I've been celebrating Kwanzaa for a long time, my parent, my mom didn't necessarily celebrate it. So it's something I discovered on my own and started celebrating once I moved out of the house. And so last year, as far as like we know, I think that's the first time ever she actually came to a Kwanzaa event. She just happened to be in town. And there's a part of the process where we acknowledge the elder in the room, like who's the oldest amongst our community in the room. And my mom was that person. And so we basically we
she loves the attention.
Oh, she loved the attention. So maybe she was like, man, maybe I need to start this over, right? but basically, we just, before we start everything, like we get permission from an elder to even acknowledge the room. To be able to speak to the room, we first got to go to the oldest person of our community and get their blessing to speak to the community. And so to have my mom be there for that and be the elder to bless the space and tell us, give us permission to do that was really, really dope to see,
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
I feel like everything, especially related to this program, is just extremely relevant to where we are right now. Like I said, it's Kwanzaa about unity, because we need each other. We need to uplift each other, especially during this time, because we're being kicked down in so many different ways, politically and spiritually, mentally, from every ritual way. So I just feel like it's extremely important for us to remind ourselves of just that peace within, just like you said with Lisa and the yoga, that I can definitely relate. Yoga definitely grounds you. It brings a certain amount of peace to yourself. So I think everything is extremely relevant to where we are right now, where we want to be and need to be in the very near future. Next question. So, how can one be involved, or how can one get involved or support this beautiful, relevant event?
Well, there are multiple ways, actually. So we are currently, because as I mentioned before, the arts community has been greatly impacted. I mean, during this time, folks are getting ready to attend several different, programs, whether it's the Nutcracker or a ballet or orchestra or,
something as simple as going to the movies.
Right, going to the movies. You cannot do that. And with all this happening, actors, crew members, musicians, a lot of visual artists are not getting work. And so one of the things that we're doing, this is currently it's a fundraiser. So the money that we're raising right now is going to support those artists in a form of an honorarium. So that's what we're doing right now, is to raise the funds, because I cannot ask, struggling artists right now, hey, can you spot me? Can you do this for free?
Mm-hmm.
Knowing that folks are not working or are not working at the same capacity that there once were. And so that's the main thing. So we are definitely right now looking out for sponsors. So if you want to donate, whether it's $5, whether it's $500, we will gladly take that money, and it's going to such a great cause. The funds, like I said, is going to support the arts, and most specifically the artists and crew members who are making this program possible. You can also, if you are as I mentioned before, if you are a vendor, if you are an entrepreneur, and you would like to be a part of our commercial break, you can participate by contacting us directly at subartandmusic@gmail.com, and we'll make sure to provide you guys, if you didn't get that, we'll provide you guys with the email address. But again, subartandmusic@gmail.com. You will be able to submit up to 1 minute video promo regarding your product or service, and we will, we'll part of the editing process, because this will be pre-recorded. We can incorporate your ad into the program, and so I think that's a great way to get, just to get exposure. Again, we're not limited to just our area. This will be streamed live, and therefore can reach from everyone to the local community, regionally, nationally, or internationally. So it's great exposure. It's a nominal fee of $25. And like I said, since we're partnering with Creative Suitland, which is a nonprofit organization, your funds, anything that you donate, is tax deductible to the full extent of the law. So there's a win-win with that. If you are an organization or a corporation and would like to sponsor our event, you can do that as well. And we have an assortment of packages, marketing packages that we can share with you. And again, if you want to learn more about that, please visit subartandmusic@gmail.com, and I can provide you with more information about that. And if another way to participate is make sure you support us on Saturday, December 26th at 5 p.m. We will be live stream on YouTube. Tell a friend, tell your Grammy, tell your auntie, tell your cousin, tell your brother, tell your uncle, tell all them to log in and to watch, all these incredible artists that we have for you for the show.
And I just wanted to add too, the other great thing about this is this event, once it's done, unlike last year's event, once it was over, it was over. This event will still live online. It'll still be available for people to watch at a later date, for future generations or future people to come along who are interested in Kwanzaa, can find this at any given time after the event has streamed, and be able to relive all of these different moments. So that's a great look for anyone interested in Kwanzaa. That's also a great look for those businesses who are interested in having an ad, because we're hoping that most of these businesses that are expressing interest in doing this have websites and have e-commerce available. Because now this becomes an opportunity for you to market your stuff indefinitely for as long as you have that business.
And it's actually a requirement. I mean, one of the things that we are looking for those who are interested in ad space is that they have to have a website, because what we'll do is not only will you be we'll be streaming your ad, but again, with the live feature with YouTube, we'll actually copy and paste your website in the chat field. So all that people have to do, if they're on their computer, all they have to do is click and be rerouted. We still want them to watch the show, of course, but we want to make it easy for folks to support those those business owners.
Said wow. Sapphic Steph, I believe that's her name. She said wow. I think at that point.
And hey to everybody who's joining us, we thank you so much.
Sapphic Steph is a good friend of ours.
It's been a blessing in disguise in terms of specifically Creative Suitland being in this virtual environment where we've been able to connect with so many different people outside of Suitland community. Our mission is to serve Suitland, the greater Suitland area directly. which I feel like that will always be our mission. But because we are in this virtual space, we've been able to connect with people as far as Australia and Ireland and Scotland and all places that we've never would have been able to even reach if it wasn't for the pandemic. So that kind of is like the blessing under the deep disguise of the pandemic itself. But I will say that, and the fact that this video and this performance and this program will live for years and years to come and have this space on our platform and your platform, I think that'll be something that we both can kind of cherish as a moment in time where we had to pull our resources together to put this program on. Despite the restrictions and everything that's going on in this time. But we have a couple more people giving us thumbs up and waves here and there. So thank you all for joining. Again, if you guys have any questions about what this event is or how you can support, whether sponsoring or becoming a vendor or just passing this information along to anyone else who might be interested, please do so. Email southerneartmusic@gmail.com or simply go to our website, cradlesuitland.org. We have a Kwanzaa tab on our front page, and it gives you more information about how to support, how to give, and how you can be involved. And of course, look out for the actual event.
Yeah.
December 26th. I was about to say Christmas. December 26th at 5 p.m.
And it's on a Saturday, so being that it's on a weekend this year is also another plus. And so we're looking forward to that. We'll be able to, reach out to a lot more folks than we probably would have if it was during the week. But yeah, we're so looking forward to it. It's a labor of love for us, but we find, especially this year, I mean, you touched on this earlier, this year probably more so than ever, just because of the year that we all are experiencing. I mean, there's been some wins for some of us, but there's been some great losses for a lot of us. And so this is our opportunity for people to be less lonely. If you are single, if you are, maybe you're in a family, but you guys are just not connected, maybe this is one way of, bringing everybody together.
Absolutely. One of the things I was going to point out too about a lot of these things being moved online, when you were talking about serving the greater Suitland community, right? One of the things that I know to be true about Suitland, because, for example, Sapphic Steph, who's in here right now, she's also, she attended Suitland High School. And so many people who are either from that area or attended the high school or school in that area are literally, like Suitland's global, right? Like the Suitland community is a global community. And so the great thing about this event, Living Online, is the fact that people literally like who either attended the high school or are from Suitland and move on to do great things wherever they are in the world, like everyone can come together and participate this Kwanzaa, in some way, shape, or form. So that in itself is awesome to see, because we're still in touch with a lot of different people who either went to Suitland or are from Suitland. And literally from our friend Steph, who's in New York right now, to another friend of ours who bounces back and forth between living in Kenya and living in Brooklyn, New York. It just shows you how great of a community Suitland is, and the type of people who are being raised in Suitland or who are being educated in Suitland and are going on to touch the world no matter where they end up on the globe,
Absolutely. I love the other piece with just supporting businesses during this time. I think we mentioned too, that's something that is extremely, again, relevant at this time, because businesses are suffering. They don't have the outlets that they used to have in terms of that person-to-person contact of selling their product. And a lot of that was probably their lifeline,
Right. And very much so. I mean, we have, she's a client, but she's also a dear friend who will be one of the vendors, Delkis Collection, who literally launched her website right when the initial shutdown happened in March.
I remember you guys were at Suitland.
We were doing the photo shoot
we were literally doing her photo shoot
and the website,
preparing her website, right when everything shut down, and it was, the timing could not have been better. And that's the thing. I think if any lesson learned is that if you don't have e-commerce, if you're providing a service and or product, you need to have a website. It's
Right.
just, because who would have thought, 9 months ago, if you would have said, we would be in the situation that we're in now,
Yeah.
no one could have imagined. So,
And while a lot of businesses were put in a tough place financially, a lot of people who had online services available were thriving, because people who weren't able to necessarily attend a dance class in person are literally taking dance classes online right
right.
now. People who typically would go to a store to buy their clothing are now like purchasing majority of the things that they wear or need for their home online. So, this year has been one of the strongest nudges, you know what I mean, for anyone who's kind of been like tap dancing around, like really stepping forward and pushing their business forward. This year very much forced a lot of people to really, really step things up or ramp things up, so they could basically thrive or survive in these times.
And I will have to say, real recognizes real. Like, I go back to, with brother Vic and his whole team. Like the fact that literally their doors open pretty much in March when doors were closing and have thrived. I mean, people support folks in the DMV as far as Baltimore, DC, Northern Virginia, all over Maryland have come to support this business. And they're not the only one. I mean, people will support. People know that folks are struggling and want to support. Some of the other vendors who are confirmed are Angie Watts, who provides natural body butters and oils. I mentioned Delkis Collection, who provides African attire.
Brownies.
What? Oh my gosh! When I reached out to her, I was like, please, her brownies. I can't. They're so good. They're so good. But so exactly. We have folks who are doing things, beauty, we have clothing, we have food, you name it. I mean, if you want to see, even if you just want to come for the commercial, stick around for the commercial. Stick around for the commercial break. Save for the whole thing, but definitely so you could support and see what these folks are doing. And again, we're not just limited to just the area. We have folks that are coming around from all over the place. And we have, I think, still 8 slots available. There are 15 slots total. So we have 8 slots available. So if you are interested in participating, you need to act fast.
Or if you know someone who has a business and you want to give them that nudge, push to do what they need to do to promote themselves, sell their business, and hopefully, make some income for themselves and, share that love with their community. So it's definitely a good time.
Yep.
Yeah. We have a couple more comments. Suitland community is brimming with so much talent. Yes, it is.
Absolutely.
Cool. And then there's Delka's Collections right there.
I spoke you into existence. Yay. Yeah, no, but seriously, I mean, Stan can attest. I mean, practically his entire wardrobe is filled with.
Yeah, I got a dashiki for at least every day of the week for a week and a half, at least.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? All authentic joints. My dashikis do not say made in China. You know what I mean?
It's authentic.
Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah. I wanted to also give a quick shout out. I have to give a special shout out and thank you to, of course, our sponsors and partners. Of course, you all at Creative Suitland and Joe's Movement Emporium. We also have Spizzy, as I mentioned before, who's also a sponsor. We Act Radio, which is a local radio station, but they are streamed everywhere as well, globally. We'll be meeting with them on Wednesday to discuss the program as well. State Farm Insurance agent Mike B. Johnson is a sponsor. From Landover, we have also the Prince George's County District 7 Council member, Rodney Streeter, who is a sponsor of ours as well. So thank you all for your generous support. But we still have space available, so we're not done yet. So if you can support, please consider supporting this Kwanzaa event. It's so important, and I think you won't be disappointed.
Absolutely. And as we stated before, funds that go towards the event go directly to the pockets of the artists who you will see perform live or showcase their work live that evening. So the money will definitely not go unserved, it will definitely go right to them to support them and hopefully to to support their work and whatever that they're working on. Yeah, and Delka says she's blushing right now. But yeah, so for more information, you can definitely reach out to subartandmusic@gmail.com, or go to our website, creativestudent.org, to learn more about this fantastic event that will be happening in just a matter of weeks, which we cannot believe. It's already Thanksgiving next
I
week,
know.
and then
It's
it's
crazy.
showtime. The cameras start rolling, literally.
Yep.
So we
Yep.
hope to see you all there. You guys have anything to say before we wrap up?
Thank you for coming out. God bless you.
We'll see you soon.
No, but thank you all again for those that joined us, for those who are just joining. Thank you so much. We are very much looking forward to this event. It's so important to us. It's near and dear to our hearts. The folks, the artists that we serve, the artists that will be presenting are phenomenal. You definitely don't want to miss that. So definitely, if you can support, great. If anything, definitely please join us on Saturday, December 26th at 5 p.m. via YouTube. We will be promoting it on Instagram and all across social media. So we just, we thank you for the support. Hey, I see you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Longtime friends are joining us.
Brooklyn's up in here.
Yes. Yes.
Drinks Fizzy's up in here.
Drinks
Black Root as
Fizzy.
well.
Again, if you guys have not, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. It's all about the waffles. And of course the smoothies, don't get me wrong. Right. Temple Hills. That's another thing. The beauty of, again, I mentioned, the local support. So another thing about Drinks Fizzy, most of their beverages are named after what do you call them? Towns and cities in Prince George's County. I mean, how else does one show love? So show love to us too. and join this event. And if you can support, please support. Again, no nomination. All nominations will be accepted. And again, it's through our partnership with Creative Suitland. It is a nonprofit 501c3, so it is tax deductible. And it's the end of the year, folks. If you haven't donated and you want to contribute, now's the time.
It is the gift, in case people don't realize it's November and Thanksgiving's next week.
Right.
It's real.
Right. What up, Black Roots?
Everyone updated as we get closer to the show date, which, like we said, is December 26th of this month. Yep. Someone said, and the event is phenomenal. Okay, it definitely is.
They attended last year. Yeah. And that's what we're looking forward to. We're really looking forward to seeing a lot of the returners, repeat folks that have been supporting us throughout. And so, granted, we're not physically together, but at least we can join together in this space where, still giving you the same amount of programming, just, not in the physical space, but still something for everyone to enjoy that you can enjoy with the entire family.
Absolutely. And I think that is essential at this time because we all need something to do together, safely, of course.
Absolutely.
Weird restrictions that we're under for the time being. Just use this time to just block it out and, feel that sense of family and unity.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Malachi. We appreciate you.
Have a good one. See you all.
All right, you too. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. We hope to see you on the 26th at 5 p.m.
All right. All right. Catch you later, brother.
Bye.
All right. So thanks again, everybody, for tuning in. We will save this video like in our timeline, so that way if you just came in late and wanted to kind of rewind and catch the beginning, you'll be able to do that. But thank y'all. And subartandmusic.com, we will have the placeholder link up for the video very soon, probably next week sometime. But definitely if you can sponsor the event, please do. Bare minimum, just share the link so other people can become aware of it. And shout out to everyone who's up in here right now. I see you, my man Malcolm. Shout out to Malcolm. Hoopaloop Beats up in here. Shout out to all of the different folks that we know, whether we've worked together, whether you were a client, whether we're just friends, family. We appreciate all of y'all. We're very grateful for the support, not just for this event, but the support we've seen throughout this year, because we recognize that a lot of people were in a tight place or space, and not everyone had the means to support different folks out here. And so we're blessed that so many people still chose to work with our company, and give us the opportunity to help them and our community at the same time. So thank y'all. All right. And on that note, we're out of here because we got to get to these babies. All right.
All right. Take care. Bye.